Hello and welcome to The Worst Movie Ever Made, an experimental movie podcast designed with one thing in mind, to find the worst movie ever made. I'm your host, Chris Ackman. I'm joined by my co-host and fellow mad scientist, Rob Scucci. Hey, Rob, how are you, and why are we doing this?
Dutch angle, Dutch angle, Dutch angle, Dutch angle.
Bob, stop interrupting.
Bob's not here, so we hope he's all right. His phone, he probably fell asleep or is on a secret mission that he'll tell us about later.
Yeah.
But,
well, we did find out last week that he is possibly an assassin. So.
Yes, but if he doesn't make it, that means we win fact or no fact by default.
Oh yeah.
So.
That we do, but we don't know, ultimately what the worst production is. So we'll have to keep that a mystery for next week.
Yeah,
I like to think. Go ahead.
I would like to think the entire 2 hour and 10 minutes of Valerian, which is what we're talking about this week, is the worst production. Because holy shit. Yeah.
It is super bad. Maybe he just decided he doesn't want to be a part of the podcast anymore because he's done torturing himself week to week.
My depression almost got the best of me. I was just standing on my balcony, ready to jump. It's worth noting I'm on ground level, so it wouldn't have done anything. Yeah. I was thinking about it. I was really thinking about scraping my knee from the impact.
Yeah, right. Well, speaking of mental instability, let's throw it to YouTube.
Sure.
You know what? I don't care what the haters say. I think Catwoman was great.
Ooh. Rocking the silver bullet, Pepsi style, I see.
I am.
Right. Number one, the visuals on this movie are out of this world. Facts. The mainstream never gives justice to real art. Most underrated sci-fi movie, and sci-fi is spelled SCI-FY for science fiction.
Fiction, yeah.
Number two, the opening sequence really gives you hope for the future and space travel. I mean, it was cool. I mean, I'll give them that.
Yeah.
Number three, words can't describe how visually appealing this movie is. The acting wasn't too bad either. Music was wonderful. I'm still saying wow, wow, wow. The next comment, I absolutely love this movie. Watched it 3 times in the theater. Wish it got more recognition.
Okay. 3 times in the theater.
If you even have a short ride to the theater and you want to get there early, you're wasting like 4 hours of your life. Times 3. That's half a day. That's a full waking day. I've read the comments and viewed Valerian. I loved it. I didn't think the acting was weak at all. The movie was a fun ride. The character is definable. Particularly, they evolved. I think that was really the whole point. For the sci-fi enthusiasts, I feel it's time well spent. Definitely. Is its own sentence.
Definitely.
Had lots of potential. I wanted to know what's life like on Alpha, but they kept showing us less important stuff. I hope they make a sequel to cover this.
Yeah, that is a contention that I have with the movie. Yeah. But we'll talk in length about that. Yeah. Does that conclude your YouTube comments? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like people really love it. So I'm wondering how you're going to guess as far as what the percentage is for Valerian for our next test. Test number 1, the worst of its kind. Ready Player One with Ty Sheridan, I guess.
Yeah,
is the lead actor. 72%. I actually liked it. I thought that's appropriate. Maybe a little better.
All right.
You haven't seen it?
No.
It's fun. Lucy Scarlett Johansson, that was okay.
I haven't seen any of these so far.
Okay, 66% there. Okay. Pacific Rim, Idris Elba is in that, and I wanted to give him a shout out because I like him.
Okay.
Even though he was in Cats.
Yeah.
72% there.
Okay.
Riddick with Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
A 57. We love Vin Diesel on the pod. It's looking like we might have him back next week. We'll see.
Oh, I haven't checked the polls. I voted for not my choice, which was F9. But what did I vote for? What was it? Godzilla?
Mortal Engines. And what did I go with? I don't even remember. I wanted to go with The Postman.
Shit,
but it was 3 hours long.
I voted for your choice, and I don't even remember what it is.
No, same. And I put it up. Oh, that's cute. Let's see. I don't even know how to check it because I'm illiterate.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how to read. Okay, well, F9 was ahead by a lot, so.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Hopefully I remember at some point what I put up on the poll. But it doesn't matter. Anyway, Star Trek Beyond with Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto, 86%. So that's kind of the heavy hitter of the bunch.
I saw, I'm not sure if I saw that one in theaters, but I saw like the new wave of like the classic Star Trek, and those are, I saw the first two of those, and they're fun. They're like really fun movies.
Yeah, I thought they were fun too. I agree. So an average of 70.6.
Okay.
What do you think Valerian got?
Based on YouTube comments alone, which is what I've been doing, 75.
Well, you're not too far off. A 48.
Not too far off.
So negative 22.
Okay.
And worst of its kind. We'll see how that stacks up against our current season champion and our movie comparison at the end. Test number 2, ain't that a pitch?
Now ain't that a pitch?
All right. You
were me.
Want to rock, paper, scissors for it? One out of one. All right.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Right.
There once was a... What? I'll go first, right?
I wasn't sure who goes.
Winner goes first.
Okay.
Me. I go first. There once was a man named Valerian who, despite his training, was quite the contrarian. He had a blonde babe by his side, but is she his ride or die? It's hard to tell because the storytelling isn't good.
That's just, I like how that didn't rhyme.
Yeah.
All right. For his skills, Valerian's achievements are middling, likely due to his rule bending and fiddling. He wants to marry Laureline, that's her name, which is morally borderline because they have the sexual chemistry of siblings.
Well, that's a trend in the pornoverse.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, no, I mean actual siblings. So who wins, and how do we decide?
We both win in this a point against Bob.
Both, yeah. Bob gets a 0, and we get
I'd say
5.
just for the sake of fairness, we should go like a flat 4.
Okay. Okay. We both win with a 4.
Soft,
and I'm just gonna write both 4% and Bob a 0.
Bob lost.
Bob lost big time. All right, test number 3.
I'm not defending that.
The most offensive.
Most offensive? We got it.
And I'll meet you. What was that again? And I'll meet you. That's what I thought you said. I'm offended.
All right.
Okay. It looks like Bob joined us for that bumper. Using uranium on your unusual pet.
Yeah. And like they just shoved it in the microwave. It's like me shoving my cat, God rest his soul, into the microwave to like give him life.
Try to heat it back up.
Yeah. Stoke first.
Number 2, breaking through the body of water, bustling with biology. There's 800 different species, and Valerian's suit is like he could just like destroy anything with it.
Yeah.
You know, and he busts through the bottom of the giant aquarium holding like 800 different aquatic species.
Yeah.
So I just imagined it just leaking all over and probably destroying the whole Thousand Planet thing.
Yeah, didn't that happen in like Chicago recently? There was like a museum and like the gas, someone wasn't around to maintain the tanks and like the gas buildup inside like blew it out and like thousands of rare fish just fucking like were flopping.
Oh God. No, I didn't hear that. That could be.
Someone fact check me on that. Theworstmovieevermade.com. Shoot us an email.
Yes, email us, please. Okay, number 3. Short and sweet here. Rihanna.
It's in the write-up.
4, Fire in Space. Surprised even in 2017.
Yeah.
They're still making this mistake. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
And I only have one more because this was not an offensive movie. Number 5, attempted annihilation of entire environment and its inhabitants. That one's kind of bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, that makes the bad guy really bad, so it functions as a part of the movie. I get that, but still kind of bad.
Kind of shitty. Yeah.
Yeah. You got anything?
Yeah, when they show up to like that weird like bizarre market thing where they have the goggles and they see like
Yeah.
the. Why is it no matter where you are in space time, it's always like some quirky Middle Eastern guy offering the guidance? I feel like that's
All
like
right.
a weird typecast to do because like it's like no, my friend, like it's always like that
Yes.
kind of guy.
It is.
And-
And what a turban the guy had.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
I don't know why that's a trope or how it came to be, but like it's I don't know. It seems a bit stereotypical. I can't quite
Yeah.
put my finger on why, but I would find that I don't know if it was representing me as a
Yeah.
person, I'd be slightly miffed.
I would be too, because like any scene where there's a desert, of course there has to be a guy with a turban who's like the tour guide. What would that be for New England males like ourselves? I mean, not that you're here anymore, but
it'd be like a guy named Chad wearing the university name on his hoodie and his lanyard backwards for some reason. You know,
Yeah.
you always see him on campus.
Right, and he's carrying like one of those protein shake bottles with the like
The
metal ball in it. Yeah.
And then he's got like it's like the university across the chest, but like the spelling of the university down the pant leg.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
or Dax.
long black socks and flip flops over the socks. Yeah. Okay, I like it. All right, that's all we got for test number 3, the most offensive. I'm sure Bob would have had something to say. But he's not with us. So we have to just heavily make fun of him.
May God rest his soul.
Oh God. Get him in the microwave. Test number 4, the worst dialogue.
You got it.
It's the worst dialogue.
All right, number 5.
I know this is good, by the way.
5.
Because you normally act out a few yourself, but then when I looked at the script you sent me, it's all clips.
Oh, it's all clips, yeah. It's all
so
clips.
I know
really
that it's a testament to how bad it is.
Terrible dialogue. I don't feel like I don't want to impersonate Valerian either, because we'll talk about it, but I think he's extremely annoying to listen to.
Yes.
All right, well, so we played the number 5 already, so playlist.
Hey, look. I know you're attracted to me. Why deny the obvious?
It's obvious.
Yeah, sure. Little goody two-shoes with an Ivy League education are always attracted to galaxy-hopping bad boys like me.
My Ivy League education taught me to steer clear from bad boys like you.
Yeah, well, you're not gonna find better than me on the market. Straight up. Take a good look. Handsome, intelligent,
Modest,
brave,
suicidal,
determined,
pig-headed.
faithful.
To yourself.
Yeah, and to you. You're my partner.
Yeah, don't forget it.
You're my partner. Look. Why don't you think with your heart, not your head for once?
I don't want to be another name on your list of conquests, thank you very much.
What are you talking about? What list?
Alex, can we see the playlist, please?
No. Hey. Most of those are co-workers and that's it.
Co-workers. Right, where's my picture then?
They mean nothing to me. Okay, I took a few detours when I was younger.
Your last detour was not so long ago.
Yeah, but with you it's different, and you know it. I want my heart to belong to you and no one else.
My heart will belong to a man who will erase his playlist for me.
Listen, babe, I fucked dozens of women, but you're the only one that matters.
Yeah. And how do you erase your playlist? Do you go back and kill them all?
Probably, yeah.
Is that what she means? Or you just erase your memory? Or, I don't know, it's future. Maybe he can somehow rewind time and pull out.
You know what he looked like, though? I had to look it up at first because he has like the same creepy haircut and like bags under his eyes as the older Byers brother from Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I
mean, he's better looking than that kid. That kid's
it's like you look like you've been up all night in a dark room, like just pictures of a woman who didn't know you took the pictures of her. That's the kind of vibe I got.
Yeah, sure. I thought it was funny that her name happens to be Laureline. I think it's Lorelei in
it is Laureline Rory, the cunt.
In Gilmore Girls, yeah. And they had the speaking pace of that show, of Gilmore Girls, because they're just back and forth, like, I'm dedicated, I'm in love, and she's just firing back, and they're just volleying back and forth like tennis pros, you know. It's not realistic at all.
Nope.
I like how he describes himself as a bad boy too. It just the whole vibe. It just feels like they are like they have all these credentials and they're like way up in the ranks of the whatever the army is of the Thousand Planets, or I don't even know, the USA division of the Thousand Planets. They don't explain any of that to you.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to imagine these two like 20-year-olds being sergeants and majors.
That decorated of soldiers, yeah.
Yeah, it really bothers him.
Yeah.
Let's do number 4. 4.
All right, what we got?
Space.
Ow! Sorry.
If you don't help me find Valerian, then his bullet's gonna find you. You're up first.
No. It's to avoid such situations.
But all of our information
It's divided 3 ways. Kill one of us.
and you kill the information.
What a pity that would be.
Okay, you're gonna have to give me credit, go, because I don't have much on me.
Oh, how tiresome.
If the commander were here,
He could use the converter to pay us, but he's been abducted.
precisely because he had the converter on him.
Unless for security reasons, someone else was carrying it on them.
How in space did you get that info?
It's not info.
Just deduction.
We know how humans work. They're all so predictable.
Clearly, you've never met a woman.
Okay.
Calm down.
What do you want to know?
Valerian's exact location.
Hard to tell.
But we know how to track him down.
With complete precision.
How much?
100 badouls.
Each.
Forget about it. This is all I have.
Diamonds are less valuable than that.
The negotiation is over.
We trust you.
And under the circumstances,
We accept the deal.
Good. Now take me to Valerian. Now.
Follow us.
Phillips heads.
It's like they took the 3 witches from Hocus Pocus and turned them into like Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah. Really weird, like anteater crossed with a flying bat, kind of deal. It's pretty unattractive. But they're very annoying in the way that they speak, like crones in sequence. Like, so kind of the same. It's reminiscent of number 5, where it's Gilmore Girls-esque dialogue being just unrealistically spewed at a high speed. But I mean, she's got some bad lines there. She's like, where in space did you get that idea? That is really lazy writing. She also is like, you better find Valerian or this bullet's gonna find you, which is super lame. She's like, they're going for badass, and this applies not just to her, but to Valerian as well. They just do not have an intimidating bone in either of their bodies, and they're supposed to be like amazing soldiers, and it just doesn't. Something about the mix just doesn't work for me at all.
It was like, I mentioned this on the show like ages ago, but I used to work for a payroll company and I was like a manager, and we had management meetings every Tuesday. And this guy, Jeff, would sit in the back corners. I don't like having my back to the door. And he was like the accounts receivable guy. It's like, dude, like, it's like r/I am very badass. You know that subreddit?
Yes.
A lot like that.
Yeah, I love that one. That one, and I'm the main character. Really good. Kind of similar.
Stop my flag. I'll eat your ass.
All right, next one is number 3. Romantic.
Ooh.
Will you do me the honor of becoming my wife?
For better or worse?
Worse? Is that negotiable?
No.
All right then. Is that a yes?
It's a maybe.
I'm confused. Is this how love works?
No. This is how I work. You spend a day in a woman's body, did you not learn anything?
Yeah. I did learn something.
What?
I want only your name on my playlist.
I gotta find myself, gotta find it now. I gotta be a man, I gotta find him now. I gotta be a man, I gotta be a man.
That is the worst Rihanna song I've ever heard. That was the literal end of the movie. I only want you on my playlist.
And it zooms out and just shows like their tiny specks in the window looking out of the spacecraft.
Yeah, super lame dialogue there. you might have heard us laughing and groaning as it was playing because this movie is so cringy. And the way that they talk is just so annoying. I only want you on my playlist, babe.
If I told Stacy that, like say I was like leaving for work or something, like I only want you on my playlist, I would come back and all my shit would be on the lawn. Like and the locks would be changed. It'd be over. Yeah.
I can't live with someone that cheesy. I'm sorry. All right, number 2. Believe it or not, gets worse. This one's called Pearls.
At the moment of passing, pearls release all the energy left in their body in the form of a wave, which travels through space and time. Sometimes it finds a benevolent host. Li Hoi Mina chose you to be the guardian of her soul.
Told you.
My daughter. I'm so happy to see you.
Same here. I mean, she is too.
What exactly happened to you and your people?
Our planet was a true paradise on which we lived in harmony with the elements.
Yeah, then they go on to talk about how they were destroyed and stuff and whatever. But isn't it odd to you that Valerian doesn't feel like he never gave consent, and he doesn't think it's weird at all that he's got a female soul inside of his.
South Park bingo, real quick. Remember when Cartman drank the chocolate milk and Kenny was inside him for like 2 seconds?
Yeah. Now bring us the sacrifice child or something.
Yeah. Oh, I guess you can warm it up with some gravy.
Now the body's in the cockroach.
Ralph Schneider is an angel.
Yeah, I just saw that one not long ago, a couple weeks ago. It's super funny.
She quickly walks out of the room and she comes back in full like ceremonial garb.
Yeah, but she never stops talking. Now she knows what she's doing. You gotta let her go. Yeah, but the pearls, that's the name of the species from the planet Mül.
Yeah.
When they die, their body explodes into a wave of energy that goes out in every direction or some shit. And sometimes it finds a benevolent host. And Li Hoi Mina, which sounds like evil SpongeBob language.
Yeah.
To me, found him, and just without him agreeing to host, she just hopped on board. And this is all normal. This is he's just cool with it. No big deal.
Yeah.
Super strange.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1. Drum roll.
Ooh.
Love.
That converter is government property, and most likely the last one in the whole universe.
Oh, so you buy into the commander's what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine philosophy?
No, I buy into my oath of allegiance. We have no authority to hand it over.
The Federation messed up and must make amends.
Yeah, I agree, but that's not for us to decide. Leave it to the courts.
They're 18 light years away, Valerian. Only we can make this right.
Laureline, I'm a soldier. I play by the rules. It's what makes me who I am.
Who I am.
You see, that's why I don't want to marry you, because you really don't know what love is.
Oh, come on, this has nothing to do with love.
That's where you're wrong. Love is more powerful than anything else, Valerian. It breaks all rules and laws and overpowers any army or government. Look at her.
Have you seen Troy?
Dude, so ridiculous. I love how every scene where they're in a deep conversation, they have to get face to face. Like, like me to this microphone right now, and they tug, whispers.
It's the thing about love, Chris. It's just universal.
It's so cheesy, but yeah, it breaks all government and travels through time, and it's just totally ridiculous. I hate this fucking movie. It's awful.
It's really fucking bad, dude.
Let's do your ad read.
Oh shit! Yep. Today's episode of The Worst Movie Ever Made is brought to you by the 150th National Landlords Convention. You're not going to want to miss this one, as they will be revealing a new strategy to drill random holes into your wall for no fucking reason. And you're going to want to check out the new cheap carpeting booth, because we hear they're going to unveil a new shade of beige, by the likes of which we've never seen before. Advanced beige. It's not that... If that's not enough to seal the deal, the fire marshal will be present to explain his plans to install smoke detectors right above the stovetop, so sautéing will be a nightmare for tenants nationwide. If you want tickets, be prepared to tip your landlord after they don't fix the hole they made in your bathroom wall without then closing it back up.
Wow. I'm sure that this is not a personal matter. This was just sent to us this week.
Yeah. The fine folks at Redacted Apartments. I may or may not live in.
Yeah, it may or may not. Yeah. But yeah, that'd be a conflict of interest. Like the relationship between Valerian and Laureline. Test number 6, the worst acting.
I'm a soldier. It's what I do.
It's who I am. All right. Speaking of the guy with a huge turban, big market number 1.
Big market.
But there are nearly 8 million stores in Big Market. Yes, okay. We have 1 hour. Now, please watch the letters at the top and verify that the U for human is full green, okay? So everybody, please get together right behind your guide, whose name is... David! Come on, let's go! Follow me, please put your helmets on. Go through the gate. Okay, activate your system. Wonderful. Okay. Do not leave. You come.
System activated.
Activate your system, please. Welcome to Big Market.
Big Market.
Speaking of, what's his face? Jar Jar Binks. That dude that was just so over the top. That guy. Had to include him.
This whole movie is like Jar Jar Binks. If like somebody like grew up watching the prequels and they're like, I want to do a movie where every single ancillary character is like a conduit of Jar Jar Binks.
I agree. I actually think that they took a lot of inspiration from the prequels, the prequel trilogy, and I will talk about that at length in the catch-all, early in the catch-all, actually. As for now, though, let's move it to number 2. Lost.
Valerian, you've got 10 seconds before I lose you.
Take that. Who's the clever one now?
Valerian, you've got 5 seconds.
Oh no, not me.
Valerian?
I can't slow him down.
Come on.
Entering red zone.
Yeah.
Entering red zone.
Valerian, do you hear me?
Laureline! I'm losing control! Laureline!
Valerian, answer me. Valerian, answer me.
Major, respond.
Alex, can you help?
There's too much interference. I've lost the major signal.
Valerian?
Doesn't.
Valerian. Valerian, do you copy? We've lost him.
Go on.
Sorry. That's actually perfect, because I was going to say she doesn't seem too upset. Like, she has no idea where he went. He might have just morphed into another dimension or something that he can't come back from. And she seems not upset at all. But yeah, as we pointed out, which they can't see because they were watching the clip, when she says you have 10 seconds, he actually has like 45. And then like 12 seconds later, she's like, you have 5 seconds. And then there's another 20 seconds before he goes into the like forbidden zone. And just don't do that.
It's like, just unless like it makes sense in Interstellar, which was actually a really good movie. I feel, but like
it was like a B.
They explained how time was being bent, so like it made sense. But this is just like in real time. This is in real time.
Right. That's the problem.
Because we're on bad acting, I didn't catch it when I was watching it, but listening back just now and being more critical for the show.
Yeah.
You can't tell Laureline's like tone and cadence apart from the computer that's meant to sound robotic.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Which just goes to show how bad she is. I hate to say it because she's a beautiful woman who is still young and has plenty of career to go, so I hope she improves. But she is bad, and so is the guy that plays Valerian. And I don't know them, and I don't plan to.
Nope.
Unless I happen to see them in a movie and I feel they have redeemed themselves.
Yeah.
Number 3. This one is awesome. This is Roar.
Hey, I work for the government. If you want to avoid a diplomatic incident, you better let me go right now. Listen, I didn't come here to get a makeover. I need to leave. Do you understand? I can't believe it. I'm not here to try on a stupid dress. Call your chief or a translator so we can at least communicate. Do you understand what I am saying?
Rush hour.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Okay.
What was her plan? To intimidate the thing?
Yeah.
She just screams at it. She is even worse in that clip than she was in the last clip. I don't know what's going on with this girl, but she needs direction.
Was this before her or after her spiritual vision quest that was brought about by shoving her head up a jellyfish's ass?
Before.
Okay.
She was not ready for that jelly.
Yeah.
You know who else wasn't? Rihanna. In number...
Oh, this is number 4.
4. Artist.
What's wrong?
I must have been injured during the fight.
Bubble. Tell me what to do.
There's nothing you can do. Anyway, where I'm from, life is more painful than death.
Don't say that.
Unfortunately, it's true. Life's a drag when you don't have an identity to call your own.
You do have an identity. You're the greatest artist I've ever seen.
I thank you. It was my pleasure performing for you. I leave you my kingdom. Take good care of it.
I will.
But most importantly,
yeah,
take good care of her. Love her without measure. There's beggary in love. They can be reckoned.
What lightning round? What's a worse on-screen death? This one or the guy from Joshua Tree who broke his back?
I'm gonna go with this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with this one. Here's why. What kingdom? She leaves him the kingdom. What?
Yeah.
What is she talking about?
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Is this like some sort of like celestial kingdom, like a psychological kingdom? Is it? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. I love when he's like you do have an identity. You're the greatest artist I've ever seen. There's no description of the art form either. Like, it's so vague.
She's a hot shapeshifter. That's what she does.
It's just really funny that like there's no specifics there for like she's saying that I'm nothing specific, and he's like, no, you are. You're the best nothing specific that I've ever seen. And then at a certain point, I feel like he needs to just be like, are you dying or not? Because we're kind of in a hurry. Like, you told me, like, I can't stick my finger in you and run you to the hospital. Like, you know, she's not just leaking all over the place. She turns into sand. But I swore that we would show on-screen deaths, and Rihanna is one of my least favorite actresses I've ever seen. I don't know that I should call her that. She's really awful every time she shows up. I don't know why she keeps getting jobs.
Because she brings in the freaking dough. Like I don't hate her music. I think credit where it's due. She's good at what she does, but acting ain't it.
No, it is not. All right, well, we're skipping fact or no fact. Boom. And going straight to the catch-all.
You know, we could use our
imagination
and guess what the fact or no fact would be. But we will segue over to the catch-all.
If you've caught one, you've caught them all. Welcome to the catch-all.
My main thing was just shoving her head up a jellyfish's ass. That's the only thing I want to talk about.
I just got a message. Okay, so it's from cousin. I was thinking maybe if his phone like was dead or something.
Yeah,
he was trying to reach out. Okay, the catch-all starting with all of intelligent aliens are bipedal, which drives me nuts because that it's just not creative. I don't know if that's true in the books too, but.
I was listening to it was a clip from Joe Rogan of all people, and they were talking about how like the ancients built the pyramids, and how like it will never it may not have been lifting stuff and like having like elaborate like ways to hoist things or like even like slave labor to do it. One guy's speculating that like it's a technology we have not fathomed or thought of from that the ancients had in manipulating sound waves to make it make like heavy things basically like collide. And you see the same thing when we talk about UFOs. This is like from another thing I've just like read up on, where if we're into 3D printing as humans, then everything the aliens do appear 3D printed. Back in the 70s, everything we did involved like A-bombs. Everything had like a nuclear component, and it's like it's very like egocentric to like apply where you are in present day to like ancient or futuristic things because it's the only thing, it's the only way you know how to think. Where it's like, there probably are smart blobs and like
exactly
and other things, but because we are the only smart things we know and we're bipedal, therefore they all have to be.
That's
we know.
Yeah, that's a very good in-depth description of what I mean. That's true because I feel like you and I could come up with some alien species. I think it just never occurred to them that they should make some things that don't look like humanoids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is bad. That's very bad. Great CGI. All right, let's just get that out of the way.
It looks. There was nothing visually I didn't like about this movie. I think the little alien, like some of the humanoids looked weird.
Yeah.
But when they're like whipping through the city,
sure,
it looked so fucking cool.
Yeah, it really does. I think that's where the $200 million went.
Yeah,
you know, because Clive Owen and Ethan Hawke and Rihanna are in it for minutes.
Yeah,
and these two young up and coming actors probably were not paid anywhere near as much as they were for their cameos.
Nah, probably like in the 6-figure, not 7-figure range. You know,
right?
Like the bigger names would have brought in.
Yeah, for sure. So all the budget went to CGI. That's my guess. Rat lizard pearl jizz.
I thought you only did the funny things for the offensive part.
Well, I didn't.
Rat lizard pearl jizz.
Yeah, it's pretty odd. They seem to be having some kind of experience when they're dropping these things out. It's pretty. It's very strange to me. Sorry, I realized that you were drinking as I started, but I couldn't stop. Valerian is not at all concerned about someone sending him brain images, which is, it's the same thing as having a person. It's kind of on the same vein, but Alex, the computer, is like, somebody's sending you brain images, and he's like, oh, all right. It's like, that wouldn't be my reaction, I don't think.
Yeah.
I like how they didn't. I wrote, we don't need no sticking memos. It's like a military operation, and Valerian and Laureline are just way too cool and good at their jobs to even read the memo.
Yeah.
Very annoying.
Yeah, because like that was an opportunity to actually give us some exposition.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it was sorely lacking exposition.
Yeah,
this movie, because I didn't know what the fuck was going on half of the time, and I didn't care.
Me either.
John Goodman, he's the Jabba the Hutt type guy.
Is he? No shit.
Yeah. They put some distortion on his voice, but I just knew it. I was like, that's definitely John Goodman. And I looked it up, and that was true. But here's some more Star Wars parallels. I promised them. Here they are. Episode 2 Clone Wars style hovercraft chase scene, like through the city.
Yeah.
Episode 1 style underwater escape scene from giant underwater beasts that are trying to eat them.
Yep.
Episode 2 again, when they wonder why someone would delete an entire species from the database, and the planet was inaccessible in the 1,000 planet database.
Yeah.
And then heavy reliance on good CGI is also like the prequels, without putting much else in. Although the prequels did really try to put a lot into the story, maybe too much, too much space politics,
too much space Congress, and like when you rely too heavily on CGI, it's like, how convincing can an actor actually be when they're just standing in front of a tarp?
Yeah, that's true. That was a prequel problem too.
It's really just hard to get into your role when like bedlam's happening, but like you don't see it when you're trying to portray somebody who's witnessing it,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Hold on, let me turn on this radio right here. There you go. So, like, this is my green screen back here. I'm like, I tried to turn on the radio. Just there was an example for you of how long it took me to get my fingers to where the radio is supposed to be. Anyway. Valerian talks like a high school heartthrob who's trying to vocal fry into some chick's pants.
Yep.
There's absolutely no way that Valerian's gun attachment is heavy enough to break through 5 floors and light enough for him to lift.
Yeah, it's a glaring problem.
That really bothered me. So, like, a bad guy, one of Jabba the Hutt's bad guys, like, shoots a bunch of metallic, like, magnet balls on his hand device, and it makes it so heavy that he can't move. But then all of a sudden, he's able to gather all his strength and pick it up and drop it on a manhole, which is fine that he went through the manhole, but then he goes through like 4 floors.
Yeah.
And if it's that heavy, he's never picking it up. It's just, no. Why not call for your robot spaceship super intelligence to help you immediately? Why wait for the giant, dangerous creature to get inside your vehicle?
Yeah.
That seems... True. Yeah, maybe all the guys inside the bus would have lived.
Yeah.
Good graphics and narrow escapes does not a good movie make.
Yeah.
Just saying it. The storyline is barely a force in the movie. It's more like we're watching Valerian and Laureline sexy argue while nonchalantly killing, stealing, and escaping.
Yep.
That's the whole movie. Good thing he got the spider laser cutting device in his mouth so he can escape the goo.
Yeah.
The goo that everyone else survives.
Yeah.
So they weren't trying to kill him anyway, but the suit is too capable, in my opinion. I mentioned before how he was able to break through the aquarium, but he's also the Juggernaut, bitch.
Yeah.
He's just breaking through walls, no problem. Yeah. Like, it's just it's kind of a Alex the robotic machine ship that can save them whenever they're in trouble, and the suit that can do everything is Ex Machina.
It's like if Steven Seagal were a suit, because all of Steven Seagal's characters are so like they're so perfect in every way. Like he walks in to beat the shit out of a bunch of people in the convenience store, and he holds the door open for Lane. He's like, "Oh, you're so very welcome." Like everything about it has to be awesome.
It's perfect. Yeah,
it takes you out of it because like, oh, let me guess, like in the old Adam West Batman's, you have shark repellent on that fucking belt. Like it's just, it's too
you gotta
convenient,
love that.
It's too awesome. It's too cool. Like it's not. It takes me out of it. It takes me out of it.
When you put the suit on, actually, because it's Steven Seagal in a suit. When you put the suit on, you maintain his perfect running form.
A little ponytail flapping. Yeah.
All right. Super flat comedy lines. There were many. But here's a few. Bring on the beach, he says when he like narrowly escapes, which is another form of I need a vacation and was not funny. Pigeons is what she called the oracle gargoyle things. She called them pigeons, and that was not funny at all. And then the prostitute in the street says to Valerian, "You want to fly?" And he says, "I'm allergic to feathers." And I think we're supposed to have a good chuckle at each one of these, and it just made me aggravated.
Yeah. Remember on Biggest Problem in the Universe when Max was like, "I flew in from Vegas and my wings are tired," and then Sean's like, "Maddox, the joke is arms. Your arms are tired." And then like 30 seconds later, he's like, "You know what I don't get?" And they're like simple puns.
Oh man, yeah, that show's amazing.
Still one of my favorite shows. It holds up.
Same. I was just listening to an episode a couple days ago. Shouldn't they not be in a working partnership if they're also romantically involved?
You can't fraternize if you work at Dunkin' Donuts. I think if you're in like super high level intergalactic like government roles, I'm pretty sure that's forbidden.
Yeah, I don't think they'd pair these two up if they had any inkling. The Rihanna dance scene is so cringy. If that's what you get at a gentleman's club, then I think they're going to have no return customers. So let's put it that way.
Yeah, when you're moving that fast, like you want to see their creases, you know? Like, but if they're moving that fast, it's just like you gotta like use your you gotta use your
imagination.
You know?
Yeah, you gotta imagine where they fold. Good point.
So too fast for the folds. Okay.
Bubble is not comedic relief. Rihanna is awful. Why are Bubble and Valerian having a full conversation when pretending to be those oafs, or that oaf that they were pretending to be? They're just like in the food market, like having a full-on conversation.
Yeah.
Like the oaf's mouth is moving and everything.
Yeah.
That just seems like a huge risk for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
The leaders of the alien populations are gluttonous.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just like like that shows that they're evil because they're like they just get to eat whatever they want.
Yeah. All right. It shows I mean, like in like Victorian times and like early, like at least in early American like realist novels, like being supple and rounded was a sign of like being well-to-do.
Yeah.
Like,
so it was attractive.
The whole phrase "blue bloods" is because like when you're like kind of fat and pudgy, your veins are a little varicose, it looks like blue. That's where it came from. It's like you're so well to do that like you don't have to worry about where your next meal's coming from.
Wow. Well, there's a bit. We had no fact this week, but there's a bit of trivia for you.
A little bit of knowledge for you.
Yeah. Aren't they going to start a human oaf war? Weren't they warning against that in the beginning? Yeah. And then they kill like 60 of them?
That was exactly like the whole purpose of the mission was not to do that, and then they do it.
Valerian, they kill a whole bunch, and Valerian's about to plant one on Laureline, and Laureline's like, "Nope, stop, turn around." And there's like 100 of them running at them with like spears and swords and stuff. And Valerian's like, "No, come on, we're going this way." And she's like, "Are you crazy?" And he's like, "Trust me on this." Yeah. And then they charge headfirst into like 100 of them.
Yeah.
Which I would never. It's kind of like I forget which. It was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull when Mary is like, "Just trust me," and she drives the car off the cliff into the tree. Yeah. You know, it's like I would never ever trust you in these situations. I'd be like jumping out of the car, or I would just not be running in the direction. You know what I mean? There's just no chance that I'd be running in the direction of the horde.
Yeah.
I'd be grossed out Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I'd be grossed out by the sand that Bubbles becomes in my hands.
Yeah.
He's just like, huh. Kind of like Kinetic.
Yeah.
She like starts building with it.
I fucking hate that. We both have toddlers around the same age, like 2 and 4, and that Kinetic sand gets fucking everywhere.
Everywhere. Like 6 months later, you find some in the most attractive parts of your couch. I was gonna say creases. I've never done anything suspicious with my couch, I promise you. They kill off Bubbles so that they can't use her again, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
She's super convenient.
She's too convenient, yeah.
Yeah. Go get the general and bring everyone down here. And then she goes in instead. She's like, no, I'm the one going in this time. And he just decides that it's not important anymore to get the general and the whole army. Because he goes in too. I thought that was kind of funny. Very little exploration of the 1,000 communities advertised in the title.
Yeah.
And that is bothersome. It's like when the movie is called Geostorm and there is no storm.
Let me ask
rather
you this.
bothersome.
When did Valerian come out? Was it last couple of years?
2017.
So do you think with the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe like expanding and like DC and stuff like that, do you think they were trying to franchise this out and
Absolutely.
Then based on its success they would have like done like one of the different of the 1,000 cities and they just didn't get there?
That'd have been great if the first movie was good, and I think that was the plan because it's a multiple book series, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would have been good for them to at least explore a little bit with the title because they couldn't call it the City of 1,000 Planets for the next movie.
Yeah.
If that's the title, you have to do a little exploration of those 1,000.
Yeah.
There's a very short like. These people, these like robotic beings control this side, the banking, and these like weird like jelly creatures like move marbles around and they can read your mind. And then there's the humans and they're all fucked up, and that's it. That was like the whole exploration of the 1,000 planets.
Oh, which ones control the entertainment industry? I think that's the important question we got to ask ourselves.
Moving on. Princess. Okay, I already said that. Did the pearls have a cyclo-learning device with Klinko language slave attached? Because they're learning everything faster than cavemen learning flight.
Pythagoras and all that.
Yeah,
so fucking stupid.
They have no access to like higher education because no one knows that they exist. So they teach themselves stuff somehow.
Yeah,
and it's just for me, it's a loophole. Clive Owen was so obviously evil all the way through that it bothered me. Like he just was acting evil so much so that you knew he was going to be the bad guy.
When the access was restricted, he's just like, oh, fancy that. Like,
imagine.
Yeah.
I experienced actual anger by 2 hours in. I was actually like tense. You know, I could feel that I was angry.
Yeah.
They are always analyzing data, but with no explanation for how it was gathered.
Yeah.
They're just constantly like, oh, the data says blah, blah, blah. It's like, how do you get data on the genetic composition of the beings that are, 90 meters away, but just from the air? Like, it's just for convenience. Too much of that.
Yeah.
And then for me, the entire end was like a big 0 hour trope.
It was a cop-out, too. It's like, oh, they were reunited completely unscathed.
Yeah.
Lessons were learned. Lovers at odds became bride and groom-to-be.
Yes. Unfortunately, nothing too complicated happened. But down to the 1 second counter on the advanced clock.
Yeah.
It's just it happens too often. But yeah, the pearls were essentially unscathed. Despite the fact that there was a wall of them in front of the the portal, they're all standing there like giving their blessing to the soldiers who were then told to fire on them, and none of them die. Somehow. So yeah, just too kiddie for me.
Just speaking of 0 hours, do you think there's ever been like a real life scenario where that's actually ever happened? Do you think that's mostly a trope that's just fictionalized? Like, do you think like there's ever been a guy working for a bomb squad who like snipped the right wire exactly at 1 second? Or do you think like they see the threat and there's like 5 minutes on the timer and like by 4 minutes and 30 seconds left, they're like, okay, we're done.
Yeah, probably that would be the case, but I think that there would in real life there is no provocation. There's no reason to have a countdown clock so that you can tell the person disarming it exactly how long they have. If anything, you'd put one on there that's lying.
You have 5 minutes to defuse this bomb, but really quickly, let me fill you in with everything I plan on doing with this mind-numbingly long soliloquy.
Yeah,
while I'm just holding my gun here and just, like, scratching my balls with it, scratching my head with it, like.
But yeah, I think it's really just for the movie magic that there's even a countdown clock on a bomb, like what, so that the bomber can come back and just be like, well, how much time is there? Can I grab a soda? You know, like it just doesn't. Yeah, I don't think that happens in real. I'm sure some bomb squad's guy somewhere defused a bomb with like a second
close.
in the history of bombs, but who knows? Maybe not. You have anything else you want to mention before we throw it to your alternate ending?
Just one more time. The protagonist, Laureline, stuffed her head up a jellyfish's ass to have a spiritual vision quest.
She absolutely did.
I just feel like it's worth repeating because it happened.
It did. It was uncomfortable for all of us.
Could you imagine in modern present day America if like I went like Bob's missing, right?
Yeah.
And in order to find Bob, you have to shove your head up my ass. But if you're in there for more than a minute, like false memories will be implanted into your brain.
Your ass just starts feeding on my memories.
That's all I got.
Okay, that's a good alternate ending, but give us your actual alternate ending. Would you?
Right.
Rob's alternate ending. Oh yeah.
So I've been doing something different. I've been not writing down my alternate endings. I want to see like what the conversation brings upon and then try riffing on one.
Yeah,
so I think we were talking about kinetic sand, right? And we both have toddlers. So what if Rihanna or Bubble dies, and then like a bunch of space toddlers are running through it, and then like 40 years later, someone's just like sitting on their couch and like there's a part of Rihanna just like sniffing you.
We've been bubble off the couch.
Yeah, bubbling off the couch. And just you're having like efficient marital couch sex, and then like next thing you know, Rihanna's just like kind of like ogling you. That's
my god. Some of Bubbles is in my creases.
That's all I got.
All right, let's start the back credit names.
Yeah.
Bad credit names like
I'm Harvey Manfred Johnson.
The ghost of Bob once again. It's not a very good list.
Okay.
Just a warning. Fanny Besson.
Okay.
Diva Cam.
Diva Cam. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that just pops up on your computer when you don't want it to.
Yeah.
Sand Van Roy.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Clement Morgue.
Okay.
Shiam Toast Yadav. Toast in quotes.
Yadav.
Toast. That's his nickname. The guy's just always high.
Hey, Sham. No. Hey, my friends call me Toast. Why? Because I always just pop up.
You're just chilling in your living room and then bing, there I am. Yang Wang.
That's a recurring, unless there's more than one. That's
probably.
Yeah.
Scott Stockdick.
Okay.
That's it.
It's a pretty good list, though.
Scott Stockdick. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Let's compare the movies.
Start.
Time to compare the movies. Time to compare the movies.
Okay, Battlefield Earth versus Valerian. Worst of its kind, -53, and worst for Battlefield Earth, which far eclipses the -22 and worse for Valerian, so we know who wins that one.
Yep.
We both achieved a 4, Bob with a 0. So that's really only a 2, I guess, if you divide it.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. But I had a 4.5 for Battlefield Earth. So the 2 in a row for Battlefield Earth. We'll figure out what's most offensive when we move on. Dialogue-wise, I think it goes to Battlefield Earth, without question.
Yeah, no, because like where the dialogue for Valerian was just overall unremarkable and some jokes didn't land. Battlefield Earth thought it was like next level space Shakespeare, Shakespeare, and
it sure did.
And the fact that it didn't hit the mark it was trying to just made it comical.
It was just laughable, start to finish. Yeah. Acting, I'm also going Battlefield Earth.
Yeah, fair.
It's just too wild, There's just too much shit going on there. All right, let's unless you have demerits that you want to mention, because Battlefield Earth doesn't have any because it doesn't need any. But I mean, Valerian's already losing, so it doesn't.
The only real demerit I would have for it's like too long. It's one of those things where it's like they wanted to show. It was like what Jeff Goldblum saying in Jurassic Park, like just because you could doesn't mean you should. Like they had access to all. They probably had access to like amazing CGI studio, but like for what?
Yeah, for nothing. All for nothing. Yeah. It's like Sorcerer's Apprentice. Same deal.
Yeah.
Okay, let's figure out what's more offensive.
All right.
And you are just going to tell me what's more offensive because there is no council this week. Slavery. Oh, wait. We have a bumper.
Oh, yeah. Mini game.
The offensive mini game.
Real quick before we get sidetracked by this, you did tell me to add one more clip. I don't know if it's part of the mini game.
It is.
Right.
Oh my God, it's Bob.
Hello,
Bob.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Dude, it's cool. What's up?
It's cool.
Just glad you're okay.
Let me plug the mic in.
What's up?
He's plugging his mic in.
Oh, gotcha.
Rihanna. Damn it.
Can't hear you.
Nope. You there?
Am I?
Yeah, I got you. We got you now.
We can hear you.
Good? Okay.
Yeah. So should we save the offensive minigame and we'll chop in his bits?
We could do. You want to fact or no fact? Because we have worst production and fact or no fact, so we can jump into those and then do the mini game.
Yeah,
up to you guys.
Is it the very end?
Yeah.
Well, we skipped your segments, so we kind of flew through.
That's gonna do it. Yeah, that's my fault. I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're good. Test number 5: the worst production.
No need to add on scripts or budgets, because now it's time for the worst production.
Hey, I'm phoning in from one of the 8th dimensions that exist in this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where I've been, you guys. I've been stuck in one of the 16th dimensions in this movie.
We were debating whether or not you were on mission as an assassin because we were debating whether or not that was your occupation last week.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, I'm not gonna tell because that's one of those things that assassins don't do. They don't talk.
Yes, they don't kill and tell.
Not that you are one, because you're not.
So the worst production in this. So I'm gonna do 2 parts. I'm going to say, first of all, what the critics say, and then what I say.
Okay.
So the critics all said that the worst production of this movie was they didn't cast any famous people.
Okay.
And that's why it failed. Now, I'm not sure if that would be enough to save this movie, but I do agree with their logic.
Meaning the 2 leads should have been famous.
Yeah.
in general, I mean, there weren't a whole lot of people in the movie that were famous. I mean, there was
just Clive Owen
for that second. John Goodman for a second.
Yeah, Ethan Hawke
John
and
Goodman.
Rihanna. Yeah, he's a like blubbering Jabba the Hutt style character.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you can't really see him. I got you.
Yeah. Everybody that is famous essentially is a cameo, though.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Rihanna is the third most famous person.
Yeah. Exactly. And she gets the most screen time.
Yeah, as a jellyfish.
My worst production were No Rules. That was my worst production.
Yeah, I do hate that in movies, but go ahead. I want to hear you explain that.
So basically, as amazing looking as some of these scenes in this movie are, which they are, the way those scenes connect and the unbelievable ways and the way they transition and they follow no logic, no physics, no probability, really even fantasy. Like seemingly important characters were basically disposable. I mean, so at least like Harry Potter, the Harry Potter world has limitations and levels of possibilities, impossibilities, and consistency. And this just didn't. And it just took me out. It took me out of the movie so many times. It just like every time something happened that was just one of those just completely illogical or impossible things. I was like, what? Why? How did that happen? And I was gone.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. We were saying that Alex the machine, like the ship, she's kind of the Jarvis of the spaceship, and she like they had her available every time they were in trouble. Like she was as close as good boy Johnny whatever from Battlefield Earth, as close as his horse was in the mall at all times. Like all they had to do was ask for her, and then like this spaceship appeared out of fucking nowhere and saved the day. It was super annoying.
The horse, that's funny. That's a funny analogy.
It's just too close, too available. It just doesn't really make sense. And then the suit was the other thing that I was annoyed by. The fact that his suit can just kind of I had said it was like the Juggernaut effect, but he can just like blast through everything. So you're right. No rules. And then there's no suspense because you're not you're not operating. You're not watching it under the assumption of those rules. So it's just super dumb. All right. Anything else, Bob, or should we throw it on to our next segment?
That pretty much covers it all.
Okay, cool. So, fact or no fact?
Bob is a liar. He will lie to confuse us, but he will also mix lies with the truth to attack us. His attack is psychological and powerful.
Right.
Hey, Valerian is the name of this movie. It's a bunch of
Valerian.
In my opinion, it is a complete failure. But anyway, you guys don't know this, but there's a fact, and there's 4 lies.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to guess which the lie is.
Okay.
And we're talking about a science fiction movie, so it's a lot of fiction. Now there was really very few facts that I could find that weren't comic book based. You'd have to know about the comic, and that really irritated me. Sure. So I had to really dig for some good information here. All right. So you guys know this movie was French, right?
I knew by the credits.
Yeah, that was one of the big pieces of information that I found is the Frenchness of this movie. So the first out of the 5 things, the 2 lead characters are both French, using convincing American accents.
I disagree. Okay. Not convincing enough.
Okay, second fact. The production company's stock fell nearly 10% after the opening weekend of this movie.
Okay.
Like the company that backed this movie.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, third one. A sequel was halted because the main cast refused to sign on for it.
Okay.
Okay, fourth one. Nearly all of the alien species from the opening sequence were modeled after Henson Muppet designs.
Okay.
Talking about that first few minutes when all the
Yeah.
aliens are being introduced.
Yeah.
And last one. This is the first big budget film partially funded through crowdsourcing. Mostly fans of the comic book who wanted to see this made as a film.
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, so one of them I want to rule out immediately was the sequel is halted because the main cast refused to sign on because the main cast, who gives a shit? You could just replace them. So I don't believe that one. First big budget, partially funded through crowdsourcing. I want to say there was another film before this, like a couple years that may have done that. I just can't think of the name, so I'm going to rule that one out. Stock fell 10% after opening weekend. I could believe that. I mean, I'm not sure how that works with venture capital and shit. Where do they really? I think maybe opening. I think it fell 10%, but maybe not. I think the Bob foolery is it didn't fall 10% on opening weekend, but it fell 10%. So I'm going to rule that out. I think there's some trickery afoot right there because I think opening weekend's too soon to tell because what fucking movie? I wrote about a movie recently and it didn't do well in China, but then it grossed like a shitload of fucking money once it went worldwide. So I think a weekend's too soon to tell. Two leads are both French using convincing American accents, and then the Muppets. Fuck it. I'm gonna say Muppets because I think Jim Henson, whether or not he actually had a hand in it, he does have a huge influence, especially because I knew it wasn't even intentional, but yeah. I'm gonna go with that because he has a huge influence on this kind of market, whether or not he was actually involved personally. So I'm gonna go with the Jim Henson design.
I love that you went that way because I also narrowed it down to these two. So I will go with the two lead actors are French, just because their names are weird.
All right. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the movie, The Fifth Dimension.
Yeah, heard of it. Not seen it.
I'm sorry, the Fifth Element. I'm sorry, the Fifth Element.
Oh yeah.
I love that movie.
He made this movie. The guy that made this movie made Fifth Element, and this was supposedly his better version, if you can believe it, of the Fifth Element, because he thought, well, I have all the technology now, I could do whatever I want, and he wanted to make a faithful adaptation, and he actually funded this movie personally.
Wow! So not crowdsourced.
Not crowdsourced. He actually completely independently funded this movie with his own funds.
What a bad move.
So this was technically one of the largest independently funded movies of all time, because it wasn't company funded.
Imagine the disappointment when you don't get that money back,
and what you did to your I don't want to say legacy, but to your reputation, because The Fifth Element was a good movie, I would argue.
Which takes me to the sequel. They wanted a sequel, but it did so
poorly
in the markets that they couldn't afford to do it.
Yep.
The actors probably would have been full board. Because they were nobodies.
Yeah.
And the alien species Muppet thing, I made that up completely. The only thing about the opening sequence was all those guys, those delegates that met the aliens, were directors and producers of movies that the director really liked a lot. So he just had them all come on.
Kind of cool.
I thought that was kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah.
And the lead actor is American and the lead female actor is English. She did put on an accent, but she's not French. She's English.
Right.
So the production company, I think it was called Eurocorp or Euro something. They took a big hit the first weekend of the movie because
it did that bad.
It did that bad. It really did that bad. But the director actually did choose to shoot the movie in English, hoping it would have more of a worldwide impact, but it did worse in America than it did in Europe.
All right.
Okay.
So their opening weekend was their big, hopeful, and it fell, and it never recovered. It just sucked.
Yeah, well, even the trailer just looks like shit, though. So
yeah,
I'm not at all surprised.
Yeah,
but also they must not have. I don't know how big a company they were, but like, what did they just supplied the production materials and some funding.
Well, they didn't fund the movie; they funded the release.
Because he funded it, right?
Okay.
So
right, he funded the movie. They funded the release. Like
right,
like the distribution.
They distributed it and
the distribution. Yeah. They were like the primary distributor of the movie, and they took a hit.
Well, fair enough. They deserve it.
5 billion copies of Valerian on Blu-ray. He was sitting in the warehouse. Like, what the fuck?
What am I gonna do with 40 subscriptions to Vibe? All right, cool. Let's throw it to. So, Bob, I'm just gonna catch you up on the movie comparison. And then I think that we should do the offensive minigame, and then when we give Bob the last word, he should do his pitch.
All right, I'm down.
Are you good with that, Bob?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm sorry that you missed so much, Bob. I mean, you're gonna.
I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. You're gonna be able to play it back, so you'll be able to hear us making fun of you.
Good.
Debating whether or not you're alive. So. We apologize. That's a little offensive. Speaking of which, we're getting into the game now. Let's play the bumper again. The offensive minigame.
Right.
Okay. Slavery for Battlefield Earth or Rihanna?
Rihanna.
I'm going slavery.
Okay. All right.
Slavery's never a good look.
No, it's not. It's not. Neither is having Rihanna in your movie, though. We got to be fair.
Yeah.
Annihilation of. Go ahead.
Is this our second Rihanna movie?
Battlefield or Battleship? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was our first. I don't think we have a third. I think it was just those two.
Yeah.
All right. Check this one out. Battlefield Earth and Valerian. Annihilation of an entire species or annihilation of an entire species. Take your pick. Do you prefer Klinkos or Pearls?
Pearls was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were just like
they had the Avatar
beings.
eyes, so they were sympathetic, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
And they were all about nature and not in industry, which we like that. So
yeah.
Are we going then with annihilation of an entire species?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine that. I think then Battlefield Earth has one for slavery, but Valerian wins with the annihilation of the Pearl species because fuck the Klinkos. They didn't seem to care too much. They were happy to be destroyed. So we'll go to our bonus round. Fire in space for Valerian, or play the clip, Rob.
You will soon be relocated to a new mining site. And if any of you get any bright ideas about escaping, just keep in mind that although you know nothing about firearms, I certainly do. I graduated top marksman in my class, and I can kill any one of you at over 1,000 paces. Tell them what I've said.
You try to run, he'll kill us.
That's it? Yes. Allow me to demonstrate.
Ground beef.
That clip does not get better with time.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, maybe it does.
It's the behind the back shots.
Yeah,
it gets better only in cult status.
Yeah,
seriously. So which are you leaning towards? Fire in Space, which is an egregious error, even worse in 2017 in my mind, or just shooting cows' legs off to make a point?
Yeah, ground beef.
Ground beef.
Okay, so Battlefield Earth wins offensive.
Undisputed champion.
It's worse 53 to 22. I won the pitch on Battlefield Earth with 4.5. Both of us scored a 4 because Bob got a 0. So I still win the pitch. So Battlefield Earth wins that one. Offensive dialogue was worse for Battlefield Earth. Bob, you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. What's worse, no rules or pushing your religion in a movie for production?
I don't know, because I really hate Battlefield Earth.
No rules though, because everything's just too convenient, and it pissed me off.
It really was.
Okay, good. I like that Valerian gets one back. And I actually thought the acting, although really bad in Valerian, was worse in Battlefield Earth because I just cannot describe to you what John Travolta was going for.
No, I can't either.
What he was going through when they made this movie.
Fair. Next week we are watching F9.
Oh no, it won.
No, it won.
My Rosebud finally. I recently wrote an article, which I'll send to you guys after this, as to why the Fast and Furious franchise is fucking amazing. Because I know you guys disagree with me, but I think it's one of the best things that ever happened to film.
I've never seen any of them, so I can't really give a good opinion.
Go ahead.
All right, so in Fast and Furious 6, there's a Spanish highway scene, they call it, where like the government of whatever area they were in was like, you could just destroy the highway. And there were real tanks, and they wrecked 250 cars in a single take.
Wow.
It's fucking amazing.
That is amazing. Because they knew they'd get their money back, even still.
Right. 250 cars. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a coworker who was like, "Hey, I will watch Game of Thrones if you watch the Fast and Furious franchise." I was like, "Okay, deal. We'll shake on it. We'll talk about it." I watched the first one and I was like, "Nope, not watching anymore. I will not do it." I will now watch F9 because I have a podcast, dedicated to watching bad movies, and Rob thinks this bad one is worth it. So we will give it a try. Rob, you want to plug our shit, and then we'll leave it to Bob to throw his pitch out.
Yeah, theworstmovieevermade.com. You could listen to us on the streaming apps. You could watch us on YouTube. You could find us on Instagram and TikTok. And you could email us, which you never do. But we know you're there, and we would like to hear from you.
We would.
Time for your limerick.
So this limerick actually does fit as an after the fact. So it kind of works that I'm using it at the end.
Nice.
There once was a movie named Valerian that we're placing against objective criterion. Too many characters to mention. The same can be said for Dimensions. Watching this movie is a harrowing experience.
It is. Great way to end.
I think we all got 4s across the board on our pitches. So.
Yeah, agreed. But Rob and I win.
Sorry to make you edit, Rob. I apologize.
Yeah, it's all good. We got the 5-second. The video I'm probably going to leave as is, but the audio I will switch that shit. Okay,
that's going to be fun.
All right, so I will play us out then. See you guys next week. F9. We're family.
Oh, no. Is that the We're Family one? Is that the one?
Yeah.
All
9 of them are. Yeah.
They're all family.
And after every single movie, they're always having brewskis at the end, like celebrating a job well done and grilling food, and it's really stupid. That's a wrap.
F9.